he embarked on increasingly authoritarian path. The number of political prisoners in jail is estimated at around 100,000. On 19 December 1960, an insurrectional opposition movement, the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam, was created. Its fighters are pejoratively qualified as the Vietnamese communist opponent. They were actively supported by soldiers of the Vietnamese People's Army. From 1961 onwards, US President John Fitzgerald Kennedy sent a few troops disguised as military advisors to Vietnam. He wanted at all costs to prevent the communists from coming to power in Saigon to avoid a cascade on the last pro-Western regime in Asia. After a few victories for the South Vietnamese, everything changed on 2 January 1963 in Ha Bac, in the Mekong Delta. On that day, in an ambush, the Viet Cong shot down 5 American helicopters and caused many victims before withdrawing, freed from the fear of American power. The Vietnam War began in earnest. Opposition to the increasingly repressive regime of Diem and Hu spread to the cities. On 11 June 1963, the 73-year-old Buddhist monk Chis Krung Duk set himself on fire in the center of Saigon to protest against the dictatorship and the persecution of his community. Other monks followed his example. The Kennedy government asked Diem to at least remove his brother from the scene, but Diem turned out of death because he knew Washington had no alternative. Believing they had been authorized by the American ambassador Henry Cabot Lodge, those Vietnamese generalized the government building on 2 November 1963. Diem looked refuge with his brother in a church and asked for obtain safe conduct. But as soon as they left the church, the 2 men were summarily executed. A few days later, in Dallas, President Kennedy was himself assassinated. At that time, more than 15,000 American soldiers were killed alongside the South Vietnamese soldiers. In fact, these were special forces who did not hesitate to intervene in support of their allies, and of war about 50 had already begun. Between 2 August and 4 August 1964, 2 American destroyers, the Malbox and the Turner Joy, which had ventured into